This video is going to be a bit different. We're going to talk about things outside Malaysia, specifically the food delivery war in China. Now, some interesting context about China's situation is that there's a lot of unemployment, especially among the youth. Too busy to find stock ideas? Check out FIRL Pro to shortcut your research time and effort by 90%. 10% off link in the comments and description. And for guys especially, they need to find food and they need to make an income, right? So where they are heading to is food delivery, right? They are Grab equivalent, which in this case would be Meituan, right? Among others.
Yep. Correct.
So, girls will go and do streaming, guys will do food delivery. That's the stereotype right now, right, for young people. So, no surprise, the competition is huge, right? And of course, labor in China is quite cheap. And so, maybe you can give us a bit more numbers on how crazy this competition is.
Yeah. So right now, the big three companies, which is all related to the tech. So you have Alibaba's Ele.me, you have Meituan, and also recently you have JD coming into the food delivery.
And of course, for Alibaba, it's Taobao, right?
Yes, correct. Taobao. But you can see, right now, they are all throwing money or subsidy. Basically, they are trying to attract more people to actually log into their application and to retain them and use their app and order their food over there. So you can see, right, how crazy it is that if you actually go dine in versus takeout, right? Dine in China, this is just one of the example. You can actually pay up to like 20 CNY renminbi over there if you dine in there. But if you actually order delivery or takeout, right, it's actually 7 renminbi.
Whoa.
So there's like a 67% to 70% discount if you actually ordered using the app only. Yeah, exactly. So that's how crazy it is. And obviously, right now, there is a tons of competition and seemingly it seems like it's not so sustainable. And you also can see that right now in China, there's a lot of younger users who are using a lot of these food delivery platforms. And they also have an interesting statistics that show you those people who born after 2000, right? They use up almost like 40% of them actually use food delivery platforms. But that just show you how crazy it is with this food delivery war. And you also can see that not only just the discount, but the promise to actually deliver your product to your house or to you within a certain time. So like they said like in less than 30 minutes. If let's say it surpassed 30 minutes, right?
Wow, you get further discount.
Yeah,
wow.
It's not further discount. You get it for free. So
you
get it for free, or
wow.
you refund. We refund you the money.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so that's how competitive it is. So you can see that there's this example that this customer, they bought like a ice cold brew coffee for 2.6 renminbi, and then delivered to his office in less than 30 minutes after he placed the order. And they also say that it's cost less than the minimum fare of the Shenzhen Metro, which costs about 3 renminbi. And yeah, you can see that the amount of subsidies that they're giving, right? Even Meituan is actually giving about 300 to 400 million in renminbi, whereas for Taobao, which is under Alibaba, they are wanting to exceed 1.2 billion.
So that's how they define subsidy. Basically, it's basically sorry money if you think about it.
Yeah, exactly. Something like that.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so you can see that the prominent guys, obviously, just now you mentioned there is Meituan, Ele.me, and also JD and Douyin lah. So Meituan, it is having 70% in the food delivery space. Ele.me is under Alibaba, and they have about 15%. JD and Douyin have 15%. And if you look at year-to-date performance, actually Meituan is dropping at 17%. But so far, you can see since 2024, they actually managed to rebound back quite a little bit. And right now, they are trading at about 18 times price to earnings ratio. And if you look at their numbers, it's actually growing. Revenues is growing. Last time, they are loss-making in terms of net income. Now it's positive. Free cash flow has been skyrocketing thus far. Yeah, so today's video, we're going to be deep diving into this exclusive interview by Meituan's CEOs, the core local commerce division. So they have a lot of divisions. So Meituan's CEO is actually Wang Xing. That is the main guy. But this one is just purely on the delivery side, on the in-store purchase kind of thing. One of our research team shared this article. That we found there's quite a lot of insightful. And just to translate what does this Chinese word means, right? They say 我们不想卷但不能不反击, which means that we don't want to be involved in this price war, but we cannot don't compete.
There's no choice.
Yeah, they have no choice.
Yeah, basically it's it's almost meaningless, his statement, because he's saying
Exactly.
like, yeah, we don't really want it, but we have to do it, kind of thing.
Yeah,
So
correct. Exactly.
yeah, you
Yeah,
can't
but
escape.
yeah, exactly. So this is some of the content inside. So there is a big subsidy. Just now we already shared already. You can see that right now, based on the numbers that they have accumulated, right? Ele.me actually has a cumulative loss of exceeding 150 billion yuan. They're still loss making, but they are throwing another 50 billion down the drain, just to like get more customers to use their
Yeah.
platform. So that's how crazy it is. Then they also give like crazy discounts. Even some of the discounts, right, they offer 0 discount coupon. So what does this? Actually, it's not 0 discount. It should be 100% discount, because it basically tells you that, if this product costs 16 yuan, we give you 16 yuan off. Yeah. Yeah, that is basically the right now the competition of the food delivery wars. And also there is quite a funny case whereby, because their main target is to see the order volume. They want to see whether this number can keep increasing or not.
Yeah.
And there are some instances where people who use the app, right, they just buy water bottle only. Yeah, and essentially they can buy like 12 bottle waters for just $1, or maybe they just buy tissue paper, yeah, which costs 1 cent. So in terms of order volume, it looks good because the number is exploding. But if you look at the average order per value, right, it's actually shrinking a lot. So which means your total gross merchandise value (GMV), right, is actually kind of like, it's growing a little bit, but it's like almost going to be stagnant already because of this lower
That's
order
crazy,
value.
man.
Yeah. And the China or Chinese people, they are actually addicted to this. So in the interview, he said that, in the Weibo, they were actually saying that they are scared that this promotion will end. They don't want this to end. Like, I mean, you are getting all this free stuff, right? So obviously you don't want it to end. You want to continue to splurge on this free stuff.
Yeah, and the keyword here is irrational excitement,
Excitement.
because at the end of the day, they have to make money, right?
Exactly.
It doesn't.
Yeah, I think their whole plan is to kill one of the competitor. So when they kill one, like let's say there's JD, Meituan, and Alibaba, right? So they want to just kill someone. If let's say they kill that one competitor out, then probably they'll start to hike price.
The reason I doubt that will happen is because I don't think the government will allow this.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. So recently also there's a news that say the government say you guys got to stop now.
Yeah, because if I'm the government, just think about it, right? Let's say Meituan wins, then there'll be one big app that is so influential, and then they'll raise prices, and people will complain, but then Meituan won't really care because, okay, if you are the government, what are you going to do? Shut down Meituan or,
Yep, exactly. So it is irrational excitement, which is also what the CEO just mentioned. They say that, this is a meaningless competition that we should stop. He himself also admit that. And then this is also kind of similar to GX Bank. I mean, if you guys remember, right, previously they give like a lot of promotion, like 100 ringgit and 120 ringgit of cashback for just signing up for their
just a once-off,
application.
right?
Yeah, once-off.
The only difference is that here we can do once off one time, but in China you can do once off many times.
Yep,
So
exactly.
it's not really a once off.
Yeah, exactly. And then you also can see that there was point of time that we can earn like 3% per annum if we just put the money into their application. But right now they actually decrease the amount to 2%. So when you can see, right, in Malaysia, what happens when they start to decrease in terms of the benefits,
people be less
will still,
interested.
and then they will like move on to the next thing. So that's why you can see that those who are addicted, maybe if let's say they see these things start to like cease to exist, then maybe they'll shift to another platform already. And you can see that the competition is so intense that those people who actually want to like say, you know what, you guys should not compete, we shouldn't be competing in this meaningless war, but their competitor will say that, you know what, you are just scared only. They'll get more excited because you think that they are coward, that they don't want to compete in this meaningless war. So it's quite funny because it's in the sense of you have to save face, and also, or you have to continue to compete. Yeah, but in the case for Meituan, they already say that, you know what, we don't want to be taking part of it because it's meaningless. Subsidies are getting more and more crazy, and it's just that they won't really go to the extent to like make losses. Because right now, Meituan is also kind of like making a slight little profit margin, about like 3%. So they are focusing more on the valuable products.
So one way to understand this is to look at a place like the US. So this sort of behavior where you reduce costs to acquire market share, you reduce your prices to acquire market share to knock other people out is quite common. It's the playbook to be a monopoly, a natural monopoly, right? So what happened in the US is that, let's take oil and gas, for example. Rockefeller, he pretty much dominated 90 over percent, right? He owned the market. Now, eventually, what happened is that there's going to be antitrust lawsuit, which is what happened. So then, ExxonMobil, ConocoPhillips, all that operate their own. Now, the thing in China is that first and foremost, we look at something like Taobao and then we think that, oh, they only have what, 10, 15% market share, something like that. And Meituan 70%. But the big difference here is that it's backed by Alibaba. So although it's 10-15%, it is actually supported by a behemoth,
Yeah.
Whereas in the case of George Rockefeller, everyone was kind of like individual and they're not linked to another funding source, right? So here, therefore, it becomes difficult. That's why if you think about it, by the time, if I'm the 10-15%, I probably give up. You know what I will do if I'm Ele.me or Taobao, I'll just sell it to Meituan.
Actually,
Right, just cash out, right?
that's what happened to the previous owner who owns Ele.me. When he actually bought the food delivery business, he didn't make profit lah, so that's why he sell it to Alibaba, because it's just like it's an unprofitable industry lah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's exactly what I'll do. But you see, now the thing is, all the players are at a very equal level, right? I'm not sure who is backing Meituan, but I think the backers are also.
Yeah, it's their own like other businesses that is kind of.
So it's very difficult for a natural monopoly to occur.
Yeah, but there's also a advantage of Meituan that we're gonna be sharing later on. Yeah. Okay, so this is also another flying wheel effect, but instead of like going up, right, as in like you saving costs, you eventually make more revenue, make more profit in the future. But this flying wheel effect is actually going down. The reason why it's going down is because some of the consumers will actually start to find loopholes into their kind of like promotion. So like for instance, like just now we mentioned about their refund policy, right? If let's say you didn't get your product within a certain time period. So in this case, there was a policy by, I don't know which company is this one, but basically they say that if it exceeds 20 minutes, right, we will refund you the money and you also get the product. Yeah, so it's to that extent. But so what loophole they find is that they will purposely place order during peak times, peak hours, because if during peak hours, your chances of actually delivering the product will most likely exceed 20 minutes. So that's how they actually manage to find ways to actually get products for free, and on top of that, maybe potentially like make money out of it. Yeah. So this is like a negative flying wheel effect.
So what, they make money, they get the coffee for free, then they sell the coffee to sell to their friend.
Yep, exactly. So yeah, you can see that it's a not profitable
OPM
business.
is 3%. Yeah, that's crazy.
Right now they are making 3%, which is actually quite better. It's actually better than like other their competitors, crazy, because they are all making losses right now. And the reason why they can make 3%, later we're going to be sharing it with you guys. But essentially, right, in this type of industry, you have to actually be very focus on these four things. So you have to focus on the merchant, rider, platform, and also the user. And they also admitted that it's very difficult to satisfy for all of these parties, because some of them will actually, or one of them will actually lose out in this some sort of like competition. So you can see that over here, Zhang Shuhao actually sold Ele.me to Alibaba in 2018 because he said that you never make money. That's why he sold it. Okay, so this is some of the unit economics, which is quite interesting. So before this war, right, Meituan's average order value is about over 30 yuan. Then their delivery cost is about 7 yuan per order. So usually the customer will pay about 1 yuan for delivery. And then the 6 yuan, which is the 7 minus 1, this 6 yuan is actually bared by Meituan and also their merchants. So, and they have been subsidizing all of these long distance orders. So if you're interested with this unit economics, you can actually read this passage over here. And Meituan also did mention that they want to be focusing more on average order value, which is a good thing, because that's how they can actually make about 3% operating profit margin. And whereas their competitors are making losses. I mean, just now we talked about they are buying 12 bottles of water for just $1 or buy one tissue paper for 1 cent, right? The order volume is actually meaningless to Meituan. I mean, because you can have a lot. I mean, you can see the number, it looks good, but then in terms of value-wise, it's actually shrinking, which is actually bad because eventually the loss will get wider and wider. So in the case for Meituan, they are trying to minimize the loss as compared to like Alibaba. So this is something that actually Meituan is doing the right thing. And another thing that they focus on, which is satisfaction guarantee. Obviously, I mean, they are all competing with customers, right? So they have to make sure that their experience must be, satisfied and guaranteed. So not only their order volume must be increasing, but the delivery time also must be decreasing. So what are the things that they did was actually they invested a house that is nearby those city areas for the riders to stay over there. So it's like more easier for them to actually go back home and then maybe even deliver out to this city. So this is something that some innovation that they did in Meituan.
But I mean, it's only going to be geographically.
Yes, correct. Exactly. And another good thing or surprising thing about this CEO is that he and his colleague actually also did run some orders and deliver food. So he was actually on the ground to see how does the
feel,
rider feel like, and then how to improve like what things that he needs to be done to help their riders. So this is something that is pretty remarkable by the CEO. And also another innovation that they did was they reduced a lot of sales. So last time in the fried chicken shop, they used to have a lot of SKUs, but right now they just shrink it into just one Coke machine and a fried chicken machine. So that's about it. Yeah. So but anyhow, but that actually helped them to save a lot of costs, become more efficient, and also they can make some sort of like a profit. And they call this some sort of like a meaningful innovation with this kind of thing. And the last but not least, or at least we're coming to an end, which is the instant retail. So they did say that it is not economical to actually use express delivery for fast moving consumer goods. So one of the innovation or what they want to do is actually they want to change the entire circulation speed from brand to terminal. So let's say like Chaji, they actually came out with a new recipe. So let's say they are selling like a, I don't know, matcha mixed chocolate or something like that. They just came out 1 week ago. So what Meituan will do is that they will actually quickly take this matcha mixed chocolate and then they'll tell to their users that it's available right now. And then they'll just like deliver it to them. So that's something different. What Meituan is doing is that let them try new products in the milk tea coffee shop in a week instead of like months. Because usually, right, these new recipes will take like months for them to do R&D, to try and error, to taste, right, see the market. But Meituan will actually just say, no, we want to let you guys try as soon as it launch the new product. Yeah, so this is something that they are trying to change the instant retail experience. And also another good thing is that they listen to feedback as well. Basically, the interviewer basically just asked them, if you have like one sentence to the decision maker of Alibaba and JD, what would you tell them? Then they basically say that, I want them to actually pay attention to the truth of the front line and also not be blinded by numbers. So I think this is a good thing for actually Mr. Wang to know what is happening with the front line. And also just don't look at the increase in order volume. You also need to look at how do you actually make money out of this, and also how do you actually treat your employees. Because if you watch there's actually a video by China Insider, you can actually see the situation on this food delivery war. It's quite crazy lah. Even the delivery guys were actually begging, like say, please don't order already. I don't have enough hands to actually like deliver to you guys.
It's hard because at the same time the consumer wants this, right? Because Alibaba and JD will be thinking, well, if we don't do these things, then we're gonna lose orders, right? If basically we're gonna make life easier for the worker, then and it's more like, well, everybody have to do it at the same time.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody have to turn off the gas for the worker at the same time. Because if only you do it, then I'm going to get your market share.
Yeah.
Because it's so obvious, right? Like, oh, we don't want to have that satisfaction guarantee anymore. Okay, it's fine. You don't want, I suppose. Okay, I'll keep it, right? And then, I get more clients. And so everybody's like pointing a gun at each other. Who's going to put it down?
Yeah.
Everyone put down the gun or no put down the gun, I think the government will probably have to step in as well. They will have to say, they have to increase worker protection rights or things like that. But of course, if you do that, then a lot of cost is going to go up, right? And so China, as a middle income country, has prided itself as being able to supply first world services at quite low prices. For example, if you go to Shanghai, the cost is the quality you get is like Singapore level, but
Cost
the
is
hotels, right? But its
yeah.
cost is like Malaysia or slightly more, right? So that's what I pride with. But then now, if they come in with more worker protection rights, then the cost and all this will go up and inflation will go up. Is that what the government wants as well? So it's well, Chinese people are addicted to best service for the lowest cost possible. We all know this, right? The day we saw one Chinese national came to Penang, he ate a durian. The old Chinese uncle, gave him the durian. She didn't like it. She asked for a refund. That is the attitude. So if you imagine that kind of attitude, but for 1 over billion people, it's going to be very difficult. Even as powerful as the Chinese government is, these are daily habits.
Yeah, they are very spoiled in a way.
Yeah.
But it's also not their fault. Is that somebody actually created this irrational kind of like behavior.
Yeah, but then they can argue, well, we create this because people's behavior is like that.
Fair enough.
Like if we, to me, if of course it would be nice if we get all this free subsidy or whatever as a user of Grab or Grab Express or Grab Food. But for me, I think I can speak for a lot of Malaysians also. If the food delivery guy is a little bit late and all that, it's okay. We just be a bit frustrated.
Yeah.
Of course, there'll be a handful who will be a Karen about it. But generally, Malaysians, nicer. So we just, okay, whatever lah.
Yeah.
We just don't give you, we don't tip you, that's it.
Yeah, exactly. So the final thoughts over here is you can see the big difference between China and also Malaysia food delivery. So in Malaysia, right, you have to pay as much as like 40% if you actually order delivery as compared to like dine-in. Dine-in is definitely cheaper.
Yeah, because the take rate for Grab is 35%.
Yes, yep,
correct. The last check, so.
Yep, exactly. Whereas for China one, they are giving massive discount at the moment. And the second one, which is the risk of subsidy. So this also can be seen in Malaysia where we start to cut the diesel, we start to cut raw 95. I think people also start to be more angry lah. I mean, in the case for China, if let's say they cut this subsidy, obviously consumers will start to complain. But eventually there will be a more normalized period lah, whereby they will just accept about this new pricing, which is a little bit more expensive than usual. So yeah, that is the risk of subsidy. You cannot be doing this on and on like forever. That's why there must be like a time where you have to say stop lah, when to say stop. And right now the Chinese government coming in is also a right timing because this actually happened just last week only, like few days ago. So they coming in like fast also, it is a good thing lah. And last but not least, which is management quality. So this kind of management is actually very rare. I mean, you can see that Meituan, this CEO guy, he actually does do things hands-on. He does all the dirty job, and he's also trying to find a lot of ways to innovate and also help cut costs and not get swayed about competition also lah. I mean, he stands on his ground whereby he say that this competition is actually meaningless, and if you want to be more profitable, you have to have your own ground lah, like a certain ground. So that's why I found this management quality to be quite rare to see in Meituan, or maybe even like other big tech companies in China or in the US as well. But definitely in Malaysia, you rarely see this kind of behavior is so far what we have seen over here. But hopefully we will start to see more people who adopts this kind of quality. And yeah, why we're also talking about this is because our FIRL Global portfolio is right now doing actually growing a lot. And one of the stocks actually went up about
3 months.
2x in 3 months. And one of our members actually managed to capture this profit, and he actually like sold some after he doubled in just 3 months. So we are very, very happy for them. And if you want to see what other stocks is initiated inside this FIRL Global, you can check out inside our FIRL program. I mean, inside there's not only just the global portfolio, there's the Malaysia portfolio, which is doing about 32%. So right now you see the global portfolio is about 6%, right? But actually this number doubled thanks to one of the stock that went up double. So it's about like 13%-ish. And if you want to get a dividend, you want to know what are the dividend stocks that we have initiated inside the boring portfolio, you can see it over here. We have an average dividend yield of 6%. And if you don't know what is FIRL and you want to see how we do our write-ups, we have a free sample for you to check it out. And not only just write-ups, we also do share some of the management notes. Basically, these are the meetings that we actually meet the CEOs, some of the fund managers, or maybe even senior employees or maybe ex-CEO. We share some of the insights that might not be available to the public, to you guys inside FIRL Pro. And also there's a SIB video inside, which is about mode. And just to give you guys an example, for Delium, we actually initiated over here. We bought it about like 70 cents ish. And then we initiated the SOL about 1 ringgit and 40 to 50 cents ish, which is close to a double. And yeah, this is not only just this company, there's many, many good ideas inside the FIRL Pro program. And if you want to get a taste about it, make sure to check it out over there. And that's about it for today's video. See you guys in the next
Bye-bye.
one.